You're listening to the Cyberwire Network, powered by N2K.
This episode is brought to you by Palo Alto Networks, the leader in cybersecurity. As AI-driven attacks increase, organizations can't afford to have network security that's stuck in the past. Discover how Palo Alto Networks can help you predict what's coming and proactively secure against it with a zero-trust, AI-powered network security platform built to secure whatever, whenever, wherever. To learn more, visit paloaltonetworks.com/network security platform. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the CyberWire's Research Saturday. I'm Dave Bittner, and this is our weekly conversation with researchers and analysts tracking down the threats and vulnerabilities, solving some of the hard problems, and protecting ourselves in a rapidly evolving cyberspace. Thanks for joining us.
So we've been tracking YoroTrooper for quite some time now. This is a APT group that has been active since at least 2022, so about 2 years now.
That's Asheer Malhotra, technical lead for security research with Cisco Talos. The research we're discussing today is titled Kazakhstan-associated YoroTrooper disguises origin of attacks as Azerbaijan.
And this is our second piece of research that we've released on YoroTrooper this year. About 6 or 7 months ago in March 2023, we wrote the first paper on YoroTrooper, and that is how this second piece of research came into being.
Well, let's go through some of it together here. I mean, let's start with some basics. Who is YoroTrooper and what are they trying to achieve here?
So YoroTrooper is an APT group that is primarily focused on espionage and data theft, likely to support the objectives of a specific nation state. We've seen this group being active since 2022, and they primarily target entities inside CIS countries, the Commonwealth of Independent States, basically. They use a wide variety of TTPs, from credential harvesting to spear phishing to building their own types of malware and using commodity malware and so on and so forth.
And they're trying to make it seem as though they're coming from Azerbaijan?
That's right. So they've put in very special efforts to try to disguise their the origin of their operations to seem like they're coming out of Azerbaijan, in the sense that they will frequently try to purchase VPN infrastructure in Azerbaijan. They will try to look for physical addresses that they can use, random physical addresses that they can use so that they can fill out forms for subscribing to these services that they can use in their malicious operations. And we know for a fact that some of the operators of the YoroTrooper threat actor group, they're not familiar with the Azerbaijani language. So, whenever they're filling out forms, they will copy and paste and translate content from the form, which is written in Azerbaijani, to either Russian or the Kazakh language. And then they'll try to figure out what needs to go where, and so that they can subscribe to those services.
Wow. So not the most subtle or nuanced approach here to filling out those forms.
Not really. This is an actor that focuses a lot on learning on the go. So sometimes they will compromise their operational security in order to get something done, basically.
I see. Well, let's walk through their activities together here. What are some of the things that you and your colleagues have observed?
So first of all, we've seen them actively try to route their operations through Azerbaijan. We also assess with high confidence that YoroTrooper, at least in part, comprises of individuals that are associated with Kazakhstan. This is because we saw them use Kazakh currency, and we saw them trying to convert Kazakh currency into cryptocurrency, which they then use to buy infrastructure and computing resources, so that they can use these resources in their malicious operations. We also know that some of their operators know the Russian language as well as the Kazakh language. And then, strangely enough, we've seen that some of them are weirdly paranoid about the security of Mail.kz, which is Kazakhstan's email service. And when you consider all of this together, where all of this points to, and you can see that the group is associated with Kazakhstan in some form. If not directly, then indirectly at least.
Yeah. What about their activities themselves? I mean, what sort of tools are they using to go after their victims?
So back in 2022, when we first started tracking this threat actor, they primarily relied on credential phishing. Basically, they'd set up a web page that masqueraded as that of a legitimate service, and they would try to harvest credentials from their victims. However, over the past 2 years, we've seen them move from credential phishing to building actual malware. When they started building their actual malware, they started using a lot of commodity malware, which is readily available on the internet, such as Warzone and Loaderat and Stink Stealer. However, over the recent months, we've seen these threat actors start retooling their malware arsenal, in the sense that they are now building their own custom built malware. And in fact, there are some malware that they've ported across different platforms. For example, there's a piece of malware that they use that has been written in PowerShell. It's also been written in Golang, and it's also been written in Rust. So they're trying to diversify as much as possible, and they've seen a huge amount of success. Evidently, they've seen a huge amount of success with these custom built tools, which is why they want to rely on them more and more and more.
The start of the year is a great time to take that next step in your education, career, and beyond. Rely on N2K certification prep to provide the tools to help boost knowledge, skills, and confidence to get you there. And now, for a limited time, all N2K certification practice tests are 40% off. Visit n2k.com/certify and use promo code N2KVDAY. That's N2KVDAY to save 40% on your purchase. That's n2k.com/certify with promo code N2KVDAY. Offer ends Monday, February 19th. Happy learning.
And now a word from our sponsor, 6sense. 6sense provides award-winning cloud-based automated endpoint and vulnerability management solutions to streamline IT and security operations. With its advanced platform, businesses gain complete visibility and control over their infrastructure, reducing IT and security risks and optimizing operational efficiency. With 6sense, you'll get real-time alerts, risk-based vulnerability prioritization and remediations, and an intuitive automation and orchestration engine so you can focus on your core business goals, confident in the knowledge that your enterprise is secure, compliant, and running smoothly. Visit 6sense.com to learn why enterprises choose them. What are the capabilities of the malware they're deploying?
The intention of this group is to carry out espionage and data theft. So they will try to build malware that allows them to exfiltrate documents of interest that from an infected machine or from an infected victim. It allows them to log keystrokes. It allows them to take screenshots of the desktop and of applications that are open on the victim's machine. It also allows them to make videos and capture videos from them. Also, they are very interested in the browsing habits of their victims as well. So they will try to exfiltrate and record the browsing history, the cookies, and anything that's related to the browser. In fact, any credentials that are stored in various kinds of browsers, they will use their malware. YoroTrooper will use their malware to exfiltrate all of that from a victim's machine.
Now, you mentioned earlier that they seem to be going after folks in the Commonwealth of Independent States. Are there particular individuals that they're targeting?
We've seen them, YoroTrooper, primarily go after government entities in CIS countries, such as Azerbaijan, Tajikistan, Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan, and even Belarus and Russia as well. Of late, we have also seen that YoroTrooper has a very specific interest in the energy sector, primarily energy companies that are associated with the government or infrastructure companies that are associated with the government. So these are like public sector entities which are sponsored or backed by different governments in CIS countries. And YoroTrooper tries to very aggressively go after individuals that they think are of interest in these specific entities, to infect them and to reinfect them, and to even if their attempts are thwarted the first time, they will be persistent. And that's one of the key pillars of success for this specific APT group. Not a lot of sophistication, but highly motivated and highly aggressive.
And what do you suppose their initial access vector is?
So they rely a lot on spear phishing emails, where they will send different malicious archives consisting of different malware to their victims, and they're going to use topical themes. They use regional themes in their emails and in their archives. It's basically a social engineering trick to coerce their users, their victims, into opening up the malware and infecting themselves.
One of the things I noted in your research was that you all saw them perhaps make some adjustments after you had published earlier this year about them.
Yes, so that was about the retooling primarily. We disclosed their current ongoing campaigns, and we saw them go quiet for some time. And then when they re-emerged, they started distributing custom-built malware instead of using commodity malware. So that was likely a lull in their operations, where they decided that they had to retool and they had to put in more efforts to evade detections and to evade disclosures, such as the ones that we've published.
You mentioned that this group isn't terribly sophisticated. Is there any sense that they're, with some of the successes that they've had, that their sophistication could be growing, or perhaps behind the scenes they're being better financed?
Right. So we feel that simply based on the technical analysis that we've done, that they're trying to learn new languages, and they're trying to learn new technical languages as well, so that they can build a variety of different malware, and that shows that they're invested in their growth. We don't know the specifics of the financial aspect of it, but technically speaking, they are evolving their TTPs and their tactics and their tools so that they can do a better job. They already have the motivation; they just need the technical expertise.
What are your recommendations then for folks to best protect themselves?
So, first of all, organizations need to have a layered defense model. If they can try and attack you via email, via SMS, on your endpoints, and they'll try to steal all kinds of data from you. So you need to have a layered defense model so that you can stop a modular attack like that of YoroTrooper at different stages in the attack cycle. Other than that, of course, it goes without saying that you should practice cyber hygiene. When you find people sending you emails, interesting emails or curious emails that you're not familiar with, and you're not familiar and you don't trust the actual sender, you shouldn't be opening them up. You shouldn't be opening documents from unknown senders, and so on and so forth. So it doesn't take a whole lot to defend yourself, but you have to do it constantly, and you have to practice cyber hygiene properly.
It's interesting to me because I think for a lot of folks in our minds, we think of espionage operators as being the best of the best, the sophisticated with the best tools. But I think this research kind of shows that persistence can be an effective avenue as well.
Exactly. So when we say APT groups and we say advanced persistent threats, they're not necessarily advanced. They're more persistent than being advanced.
Advanced or persistent threats, right?
Right, exactly.
Our thanks to Asheer Malhotra from Cisco Talos for joining us. The research is titled Kazakhstan-associated YoroTrooper disguises origin of attacks as Azerbaijan. We'll have a link in the show notes. And now, a word from our sponsor, SpyCloud, the cybercrime analytics leader. SpyCloud disrupts cybercrime by telling you what criminals know about your business and your customers, so you can take action to prevent ransomware, session hijacking, account takeover, and online fraud. SpyCloud constantly recaptures and analyzes new data from the criminal underground, including credentials, session cookies, and PII siphoned from malware-infected devices. With knowledge of the specific exposed data criminals have in hand from InfoStealer malware on managed and unmanaged devices, security teams can respond with a more efficient and effective process called post-infection remediation that fits seamlessly into existing incident response frameworks. Get SpyCloud's post-infection remediation guide outlining the 7 steps for preventing a malware infection from becoming a full-blown ransomware incident. Visit spycloud.com/cyberwire. That's spycloud.com/cyberwire. And we thank SpyCloud for sponsoring our show. The CyberWire Research Saturday podcast is a production of N2K Networks, proudly produced in Maryland out of the startup studios of Data Tribe, where they're co-building the next generation of cybersecurity teams and technologies. This episode was produced by Liz Irvin and senior producer Jennifer Iben. Our mixer is Elliot Peltzman, our executive editor is Peter Kilpie, and I'm Dave Bittner. Thanks for listening.